There are 150 Jokers in Balatro, coming in 4 rarities: Common, Uncommon, Rare, and Legendary. Of the 150 Jokers, 64 are uncommon, but only 41 are available from the start of the game, and the other 23 are locked. This video will focus on the other 23 uncommon Jokers that must be unlocked and how to unlock them. The first Joker on this list is Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones is a unique Joker that prevents game loss if chips scored are at least 25% of the required chips and then perishes. The game loss will instead be counted as a win, and you will receive a unique victory screen that says, "Mr. Bones saved you." You won't receive normal reward money, however, you will receive interest. Investment tag and anaglyph deck mechanic still works. Mr. Bones will not save you if you run out of cards. Mr. Bones makes an excellent introductory Joker to this list because its unlock condition is incredibly easy to fulfill, simply requiring you to lose 5 runs. You will likely lose many times over the course of playing Balatro as you continue to learn, unlock, and progress through the game. You can also just purposefully lose to the ante 1 small blind 5 times in a row, and you should be able to unlock Mr. Bones in under a minute. Acrobat is an underwhelming flat X-Molt Joker because although it does provide an impressive 3x Molt, it only does so once on the final hand of the round. Similar to Mr. Bones, Acrobat has a relatively straightforward unlock condition, requiring you to play 200 hands to unlock it. Because Acrobat has an unlock condition that is tied to a fundamental game mechanic of playing hands, you probably already have this Joker unlocked, and if not, you will with just a short amount of gameplay. Sock and Buskin is a super strong Joker in face card builds because it can re-trigger powerful additions like polychrome and enhancements like glass on the high chip scoring face cards. It combos well with the other Jokers that interact with played face cards like Photograph, Smiley Face, Scary Face, and the legendary Troubadour. The combination of Sock and Buskin, Photograph, Hanging Chad, and a glass face card can make hundreds of millions of chips. Although not relevant in this video, you will need to make this amount of chips to unlock another Joker, the rare Stuntman. However, with great power comes great risk. Face cards benefit the most from certain incredibly powerful synergies, but are the most debilitated by several of the boss blinds. To unlock Sock and Buskin, the player must play 300 face cards across all runs. Like Acrobat, the unlock condition for Sock and Buskin is tied to an intrinsic gain mechanic. It is unlikely for the player to never play face cards across any of their runs unless they are playing on the Abandoned deck, which has no face cards. So you probably already have this Joker unlocked. If not, you will eventually unlock this Joker just by playing the game naturally. Troubadour is a very strong hand manipulation Joker that gives +2 hand size at the cost of -1 playable hand for the player. Troubadour can help enable the assembly of crazy strong hands like the secret 5 of a kind that can not only one-shot but annihilate boss blinds. The -1 playable hand isn't a downside if you intend to win in a single hand.
Troubadour is unlocked by winning 5 consecutive rounds by playing a single hand in each. Unlike the first 2 jokers, the unlock condition for Troubadour requires you to play as few hands as possible. Playing optimally is the best strategy to unlock this joker. The strongest hands in the game that are likely to clear blinds in a single hand are straight flushes, 4 of a kind, full houses, flushes, and straights, and the 2 other secret hands, flush 5s and flush houses. This can easily be done within the first 5 rounds of the game. The chip requirement to clear ante 1 small blind is always 300. Referring to the poker hand menu, you can see that this can be achieved with 3 common hands: straights, flushes, and full houses. You need to make 75 chips with each hand multiplied by the base 4 mult to clear 300 total chips. Although the base mult is 4 for all 3 of these hands, the base chips are different. This means that the amount of additional chips from hand needed to clear for each is slightly different. From hand, you will need to make a 45 chip straight, which is basically a queen high straight, a 40 chip flush, or a 35 chip full house. After defeating ante 1 small blind in a single hand, the next 4 blinds can all be easily defeated with minimal chip and mult support from jokers and consumables found in shops. Any deck can defeat 5 blinds in a row in a single hand. Even the starting red deck is a strong pick to do so. Whereas the blue deck started the player with +1 hand, the red deck starts the player with an extra discard to help you clear ante 1 small blind in a single hand. Another strong strategy is to use the yellow deck because it starts the player with an extra $10, giving them a significant economic advantage. After defeating ante 1 small blind in a single hand using a strong straight, flush, or full house, the player can more freely purchase jokers and tarots that will help them defeat the next 4 blinds in a single hand. However, the yellow deck is locked until you discover at least 50 items in your collection. Certificate is a strange joker that adds a random playing card with a random seal to the player's hand at the beginning of the round. It also has an equally strange unlock condition, requiring the player to have 1 card in their deck with both the gold enhancement and a gold seal on it. Because gold enhancement and gold seal have similar yet anti-synergistic effects, most players would never deliberately create such a card, and you may not even have this joker unlocked simply for that reason. Playing cards with the gold enhancement give 3 gold when held in hand at the end of the round. Playing cards with the gold seal give 3 gold when scored. Enhancements and seals are different, and playing cards can have both. Gold playing cards can only be acquired in a handful of ways, but their primary source is from the Devil Tarot, that converts 1 card in hand to gold when used. You can use the Death Tarot to transform other cards into that gold card. Gold cards can also rarely be found in standard card packs. The uncommon joker Midas will turn all scoring face cards into gold cards. They can randomly be generated from the spectral cards Grim, Familiar, and Incantation. On the other hand, gold seals are much harder to acquire than gold enhancements because their primary source comes from the spectral card Talisman, which gives a gold seal to 1 card in hand. Unlike tarots, spectral cards cannot be found randomly in the top portion of the shop and can only be found in the much rarer spectral booster packs. For this reason, you cannot find and purchase a talisman to store it for a timely use like you can a Devil Tarot. You must use the talisman immediately on whatever random cards are revealed from your deck. Due to the rarity discrepancy, you will likely find the Devil Tarot or a card with the gold enhancement in the shop before you find the talisman spectral card or a card with a gold seal in the shop. It is wise to always have a copy of the Devil Tarot on hand so that you can immediately guarantee the combination once either the Talisman Spectral card or a card already with a gold seal appears. This joker is not particularly difficult to unlock. A basic strategy for unlocking this joker involves farming and re-rolling the shop for tarot and spectral cards. Decks and jokers that support or synergize with this strategy will work well. For example, the jokers Hallucination, Cartomancer, and Vagabond are some excellent choices at each rarity due to their ability to generate tarots. You can consider the Zodiac deck, which starts with the Overstock, Tarot Merchant, and Planet Merchant vouchers. Normally, there are only 2 card slots available in the shop, but Overstock gives 1 additional slot. With 3 slots instead of 2, the player will have 50% more opportunities to be offered tarots. Additionally, the Tarot Merchant voucher doubles the drop rate of tarots in the shop. The Planet voucher is irrelevant in this situation. An alternative strategy would be to use the Ghost deck, which allows spectral cards to appear in the shop like tarot and planet cards. With the Ghost deck, you can randomly find the Talisman spectral card in the shop, which you can purchase and store for later use like the Devil Tarot. Smeared Joker is another strange joker with a unique effect that makes diamonds and hearts count as the same suit, and clubs and spades count as the same suit. Smeared Joker can be a cool utility joker to help enable flush strategies, especially flush 5s and flush houses. Smeared Joker's effect helps free up the player to use less suit conversion tarots in favor of those with more powerful effects. Smeared Joker has a relatively easy unlock condition, only requiring the player to have at least 3 wild cards in their deck. This will likely be eventually accomplished incidentally by the player without actively trying to even accomplish it. For this reason, we won't spend too much time discussing this joker. Like Gold, Wild is one of several enhancements that playing cards can have. Cards with the Wild enhancement count as every suit simultaneously. There are tons of interactions, both positive and negative, involving the Wild enhancement, but we won't get into too much detail in this video. The primary source of Wild enhancement is from the Lover's Tarot, which enhances 1 card to Wild. Wild cards can also rarely be found in standard packs, and they can also randomly be generated from the spectral cards Grim, Familiar, and Incantation. Because the basic unlock strategy for Smeared Joker is essentially parallel to the previous Joker certificate, involving high tarot turnover and shop farming, except for spectral packs which are not needed, the recommendation for using the Zodiac deck, jokers like Hallucination, Cartomancer, and Vagabond are all the same. Throwback can sometimes be a very powerful game-winning X-Molt card, but generally only when acquired early. It starts at 1 and gains 0.25 X-Molt for each skipped blind, counting those previously skipped, even while not in hand, which is a very nice quality of life perk. Throwback has an effect that basically incentivizes you to not play the game. On top of that, Throwback has the easiest unlock condition in the entire game, and for that reason, 99.9% of you almost certainly have it unlocked, so we will just move on since we have several more left in this list. All you must do to unlock Throwback is continue a saved run. Yes, that's it. Exit any run you're currently playing, and choose Continue from the start menu, and you will unlock Throwback. The next 4 jokers, Rough Gem, Bloodstone, Arrowhead, and Onyx Agate, are related in that they each represent one of the 4 suits, giving a unique effect for when cards of their representative suits are scored. The Rough Gem gives $1 for each scoring diamond. Bloodstone gives scoring hearts a 50% chance to give 1.5 X-Molt. Arrowhead gives 50 chips for each scoring spade. And Onyx Agate gives 7 molt for each scoring club. They are basically like a more interesting version of their common counterparts, which give +3 molt whenever a card of their representative suit scores. They also have a nearly identical parallel unlock condition in which they are each unlocked by having at least 30 cards in your deck of their representative suit. For that reason, the unlock strategies that we will discuss will apply to all 4 of them, with the exception of Bloodstone and Arrowhead, which have one exactly the same small additional recommendation. The most important thing to consider is that although wildcards count as every suit and contribute to the effective number of each suit, they do not contribute to the true number of each suit in the deck. Thus, they are not helpful in unlocking any of these jokers and should be avoided. You can check how many cards of each suit you have in the deck by simply clicking on your deck and then checking the box in the lower left corner. There are several ways for you to manipulate the number of suits in your deck. You can simply buy them from the shop in standard packs, or maybe be a bit more fun and copy them with the rare Joker DNA. However, the most reliable source of suit conversion comes from tarots, specifically one of the 4 suits' unique conversion tarots, which transforms 3 cards into their representative suit. The Star Tarot transforms 3 cards into diamonds, the Sun Tarot transforms 3 cards into hearts, the World Tarot transforms 3 cards into spades, and the Moon Tarot transforms 3 cards into clubs. The Death Tarot can be used to transform 1 card of an unneeded suit into another card of the desired suit. The Fool Tarot can be used to copy the last played suit conversion or Death Tarot. The Spectral card Sigil will transform the revealed hand into a random suit. It might be useful to help direct your suit selection if you find it early enough and haven't yet unlocked any of the other jokers. Otherwise, it has a 3 in 4 chance to undo your progress. Use wisely. The last thing to mention is if you're willing to unlock the checkered deck by winning any run with the black deck, which must first also be unlocked by discovering 100 items in your collection, it will trivialize unlocking Arrowhead and Bloodstone. That is because the checkered deck has a gimmick in which all the diamonds have been converted to hearts and all the clubs have been converted to spades, meaning the checkered deck starts with 26 hearts and 26 spades, being just 4 cards of the same suit away from unlocking either joker, whereas the traditional decks would be 17 cards away. Glass Joker is a hard-to-utilize scaling X-Molt Joker that starts at 1 X-Molt and gains an impressive 0.75 X-Molt whenever a glass card is destroyed. Although 0.75x is a nice chunk of X-Molt to receive, this activation is luck-based, tied to a mere 25% chance for any glass card to break when played. The Glass Joker can be unlocked by having at least 5 glass cards in your deck. Once unlocked, it will only become available in the shop once you have at least 1 glass card in your deck. Like Gold and Wild, Glass is another enhancement that playing cards can have. Glass cards give 2x Molt when scored, which is a crazy strong effect that is balanced by the fact that they have a 25% chance to break whenever they score. Like the previous enhancements, Gold and Wild, the sources of Glass enhancement are essentially identical. They can be found randomly in standard card packs, or randomly generated off the spectral cards Grim, Familiar, and Incantation. Glass also has a representative tarot, Justice, which enhances 1 card to Glass, that serves as the primary source for Glass card generation. And as usual, the Death Tarot can transform a card into another card already enhanced with Glass, and the Fool can copy the last played Justice or Death Tarot. The strategy for unlocking Glass Joker is essentially identical to that of Certificate and Smeared Joker, involving high tarot turnover and shop re-rolling, and so are the recommendations. Utilize tarot synergizing jokers like Hallucination, Cartomancer, Vagabond, find the Overstock voucher, use the Zodiac deck, and a good recommendation for unlocking Glass Joker is to not actually play any of your glass cards if you can avoid it, because they do have a chance to break before you can reach the 5 total necessary to unlock it. Showman is a generally weak, unneeded joker for most normal runs, but is essentially a requirement for endless runs to ensure you can find multiple copies of the most powerful jokers in the game, like Blueprint and Brainstorm. Normally, you can only have one copy of any card, and duplicates will not appear if they are in your inventory. Showman disables this restriction. It has a rather basic unlock condition, simply requiring the player to reach ante 4, which is just halfway through a full 8 ante game, and for that reason, 99.9% of players probably already have this joker unlocked. If you're struggling to reach ante 4 with the red deck on the white stake difficulty, then you may want to finish watching this video to learn how to unlock the rest of the uncommon jokers to add to your arsenal, and then watch some other videos on basic Balatro game mechanics and general best practice tips to not only help you reach ante 4, but win an entire run. Flowerpot is generally considered a bad flat X mult joker, despite giving an impressive 3x mult because of its strict activation requirement demanding the played hand to contain every suit. You also sadly cannot cheat this requirement with a single wild card because they will only count as one suit and the hand needs to contain at least 4 cards. Like Showman, the unlock condition for Flowerpot also requires the player to reach a certain ante. Flowerpot requires the player to reach the final 8th ante, but doesn't require them to win the run. There really is no specific deck or strategy that is best suited for reaching ante 8, as every deck and a wide variety of strategies can win runs even on the hardest difficulties. If you're able to reach ante 4 and unlock Showman, but unable to reach ante 8, then you may want to watch more advanced Balatro videos that explain specific strong joker combos and game interactions so that you can identify them in your future runs. Merry Andy is an interesting utility joker that gives the player an extra 3 discards each round at the cost of reducing their hand size by 1. This joker is great at ripping through the deck to assemble specific hands that can one-shot blinds. Merry Andy can be unlocked by winning a run in 12 rounds or fewer. Since a normal run consists of 24 total rounds, 8 antes with 3 blinds each, you must skip at least half the game. Also, since the 8 boss blinds cannot be skipped, the player technically only has at most 4 rounds of non-boss blinds and their shops to work with, and the other 12 rounds must be skipped. In general, skipping, especially to this extent and on higher difficulties, is considered a misplay because of the significant opportunity cost of severely reduced shop offerings. For these reasons, Merry Andy is one of the more difficult jokers to unlock in the game. White stake difficulty is definitely the best stake to attempt this unlock. Unfortunately, there is no general advice on how best to unlock Merry Andy because there are exactly 2 sources of blind skipping interaction in the entire game. The first one is a joker, the uncommon Throwback, which we discussed earlier on this list. It gives 0.25x mult for every skipped blind, regardless if it's in your hand when you skipped. And we also discussed its relatively simple unlock condition is to just continue any saved run from the main menu. And the second source is from the Anaglyph deck, which weirdly gives the player a double tag at the end of each boss blind. If you use one every ante beginning ante 2, you will have 6 round skips that will provide double their value. You just need to find 6 other rounds to skip. The Anaglyph deck can be unlocked by winning any run on Black Stake difficulty. Because the only interaction and synergy with skipping antes comes from these 2 sources, my only advice is to use either one or both of them. The ideal setup would be to use the Anaglyph deck and be offered an early throwback either in the shop or off an uncommon Joker skip. Although it is possible to win a run in 12 rounds or fewer without throwback or the Anaglyph deck, it'll be much more difficult and luck will be much more necessary to be offered strong skip tags. Mr. Bones may be needed, for example, to pull off a cheeky ante-8 boss blind victory to compensate for the substantial power loss from skipping so many blinds. Opps all sixes is a funny little utility joker that simply doubles all listed probabilities. The value of Opps all sixes really shines when combined with 50% chances like the previously discussed hallucination in Bloodstone, as well as business card and reserved parking. It's a fun joker to use, and luckily it has a relatively easy unlock condition, so most of you probably already have it unlocked. This is by no means a lot of chips compared to the next joker on the list, and is roughly the clear requirement for antes 4 or 5, putting it on par with Showman in terms of unlock difficulty. Even low-scoring hands like High Card can clear 10,000 chips with a simple assortment of good chip and mult sources. There is really no best method to unlock this joker, as most players will unlock Opps all sixes as they play the game naturally. The Idol is a difficult-to-use X-Molt joker that gives a specific card rank and suit 2 X-Molt when scored, and this specific card rank and suit changes each round to a random card in your deck. The ability for a card to give 2 X-Molt when played is super strong. Decks that manage to slim down and heavily convert to having just one type of card, suit, and rank will ensure that the Idol's ability applies to every card in their deck. The unlock condition for the Idol is rather steep, however, requiring the player to make 1 million chips in a single hand. 1 million chips from a single hand is way overkill and will one-shot nearly all 8 boss blinds, except for the higher stakes extra large blind, which is 1.2 million. Making that amount of chips from a single hand will require a significant chip, plus mult, and X-Mult source. A powerful joker lineup, preferably with a strong scaling X-Mult joker, is highly recommended to generate this amount of chips. There are too many combinations to list that can make this amount of chips, so for the sake of time, I'll list 2 of my favorites. Your basic level 1 joker combination that can make 1 million chips would be Hanging Chad and Photograph. Hanging Chad re-triggers the first scoring card 2 additional times, and Photograph gives the first scoring face card 2 X-Molt. Together, they give an amazing 8 X-Molt before considering any card modifications. When further combined with the glass enhancements and other sources of re-triggering, such as from the Red Seal, which re-triggers the card it's on, and Sock and Buskin that re-triggers all played face cards, you can truly break the game and make hundreds of millions if not billions of chips, assuming the boss hasn't disabled face cards, of course. They are both easily findable commons, which additionally means they can be randomly generated from the Riffraff Joker, which is another strong early game common joker that generates 2 random common jokers at the beginning of every round. A slightly more complex strategy might involve a Joker lineup consisting of the rare baseball Joker and 4 powerful uncommon Jokers. Ideally, at least one of these 5 scaling X-Molt Jokers: Hologram, Constellation, Glass Joker, Lucky Cat, or Vampire. These Jokers are very strong because they have no cap to the amount of X-Molt they can provide, only limited to the number of times you can meet their activation requirement. The best deck to use to unlock the idol is the Plasma deck because of its unique chip balancing mechanic. When a hand scores, the final chips and molt are first balanced and equalized before then being multiplied. I won't bore you with the proof, but it is mathematically proven that a balanced hand will always score higher than an unbalanced hand. To compensate for the dramatic increase in chip creation potential allowed by the balancing mechanic, the base chip requirement for each blind has been doubled. You can unlock the Plasma deck by winning any run on the blue stake difficulty. If you're coming up just shy of 1 million, give the Plasma deck a shot next time. Seeing Double is a tricky to use Joker that gives a small, flat 2x molt if played hand consists of at least 2 suits, with 1 being clubs. It is not super difficult to trigger, and X molt is always nice to have. It just makes flushes pretty much impossible to play because of this restriction. Seeing Double can be unlocked by playing a hand that contains 4 7 of clubs. It is not terribly difficult to complete this task with just a little bit of effort. Most decks start with 4 7s, 1 for each suit, and you can transform the other 3 7s in the deck into clubs with the Moon Tarot. You can enhance a 7 with the Lover's Tarot to Wild, so that it can count as every suit. You can use the Death Tarot to transform another card into a 7 of clubs. You can use the Strength Tarot to increase the rank of 6s to 7s, and you can then use the Full Tarot to copy one of the previously mentioned tarots. The rare Joker DNA can copy one of the 7 of clubs. They can randomly be found in standard card packs and generated off incantation, familiar, or grim spectral cards. Since the best method of getting multiple copies of a specific card in the deck involves high tarot turnover and shop re-rolling, those decks and strategies that we have consistently discussed will work well. You could also consider using the Abandoned deck, which starts with 12 fewer cards because it has no face cards. The smaller deck size will increase the overall deck consistency and the likelihood of drawing into the 4 7 of clubs. You could also try the Magic deck, which starts with 2 copies of the Fool. You just need to find 1 copy of the Death Tarot, and you will effectively have 3 copies of it, immediately guaranteeing the assembly of 4 7 of clubs as soon as you draw into the 1 in your deck by transforming 3 other cards into it. Matador is generally a bad Joker that is likely near the bottom of most players' Joker tier lists. Its effect to earn $8 when played hand triggers the boss blind only really works against a few boss blinds, and it's not always clear which blinds actually trigger this effect. It honestly might be wiser to leave this Joker locked as to remove it from the available Joker pool in-game. But if you insist, the unlock condition is not super difficult, and you've likely already unlocked this Joker. To unlock Matador, you need to defeat any boss blind in a single hand without discards. This can easily be done against Ante 1 boss blind because its clearing score is only 600 chips. Virtually any decent chip or molt source found in the small or big blind shops, whether from Jokers or Tarots, will help clear 600 chips with relative ease. Satellite can be a decent economy joker, but is often outclassed by most other economy jokers, especially early in the game. At the end of every round, Satellite gives $1 to the player for every unique planet card that they have consumed in the run. There are 12 unique planet cards in total, 9 for the traditional poker hands, and 3 for the previously discussed secret hands, for a maximum payout of 12 gold if all have been discovered. Satellite is one of the most difficult jokers to unlock due to its extremely demanding unlock condition, requiring the player to have at least 400 gold. 400 gold is such a comically large amount of gold that 99.9% of runs will neither have nor need that amount of gold. Players should only have that incredibly high amount of gold because they are specifically building a deck around it. Otherwise, they are not effectively spending their gold for important things like re-rolling the shop to find game-winning X-Mult jokers. There are only 2 jokers in the entire game that directly benefit from having comically large amounts of gold, and they are Bull and Bootstraps. Both jokers are uncommon, but only Bull is available from the start, whereas Bootstraps is locked. It's actually Joker 23, the final Joker on this list, so we will discuss its unlock condition in more detail very shortly. Bull gives the player +2 chips for each $1, and Bootstraps is the Mult version, giving +2 Mult for every 5 gold. Both jokers provide stable, linear chip and Mult scaling late into the game, and at $400, the amount of chips and Mult provided is game-winning. You will preferably need one or both in your attempt due to their exclusive synergy with having lots of capital. Aside from economy jokers, the best generically good source of money is from the Tarot's Hermit and Temperance. Hermit duplicates money for a maximum payout of $20, and Temperance gives the total sale value of your jokers, with a maximum payout of $50. Usually, Hermit is the superior choice because the $20 maximum payout often exceeds the total sale value of jokers by several dollars, as most jokers only sell for a few dollars. Normally, the sale value of jokers is static, and only increases if they have an addition like through a successful Wheel of Fortune activation. However, the Joker's gift card, and to a lesser extent Egg, especially when acquired early, can significantly increase the sale value of jokers. Gift card is an often slept on uncommon joker that increases the sell value of all jokers, including itself and consumables, by $1 at the end of the round. The Egg is a common joker that increases the sale value of just itself by $3 at the end of every round. With enough rounds having been passed, Gift Card and Lucky Egg can make Temperance Tarots give massive amounts of gold. The Fool can then copy the last played planet or tarot card, which would ideally be Hermit or Temperance. The effects of Gift Card and Egg can also be combined with the common joker Swashbuckler, which gains plus Mult equal to the total sale value of your jokers, to provide a viable source of linear positive Mult scaling into the late game. Be mindful that together they would occupy 3 joker slots, which would be tough to manage without strong X-Mult to support. You could consider using the Magic deck, which starts with the Crystal Ball voucher, essentially an extra consumable slot. The player can fill their consumable slots with tarots that are not Temperance or Hermit to block their appearance in the shop and Arcana packs, and thereby increase the odds of Temperance or Hermit appearing. The Zodiac deck starts the player with the Tarot Merchant, Planet Merchant, and the Overstock voucher. The Tarot Merchant voucher doubles the drop rates of tarots in the shop, and the Overstock voucher provides an additional card slot in the shop. We already discussed Gift Card and Egg, but I wanted to point your attention to Rough Gem, Rocket, To the Moon, and Cloud9, which often provide the most amount of money over the course of a run compared to the other economy jokers. We already discussed Rough Gem's ability to generate $1 for every scoring diamond and how to unlock it, and Rocket is a super good economy joker, especially when found in Ante 1. It gives $1 at the end of every round, and this payout increases by $2 whenever a boss blind is defeated. To the Moon gives an extra $1 of interest for every $5 the player has. Although only slightly better than the Golden Joker at $25 for a $5 payout, with the seed money and the money tree voucher at $50 and $100 respectively, the payouts are substantially larger. Cloud9 is a very strange economy joker that gives $1 for each 9 in the deck at the end of every round. Cloud9 is basically just an uncommon and more expensive version of Golden Joker with the same effect, as most decks start with only 4 9s. If acquired early, the player can use Death Tarots to transform cards into 9s, and Strength Tarots to convert their 8s into 9s, and then 7s into 8s, and 8s into 9s if you run out of 8s. Standard packs should also be ripped and all 9s taken to maximize the value of this joker. You could also consider using the Anaglyph deck, which if you recall gives the player a double tag at the end of every boss blind. Double tags are skip tags that become a copy of the next used skip tag. The skip tag that we want to copy is the money duplication skip tag. The money duplication skip tag doubles the player's gold with a maximum payout of $40. If you hoard all of your double tags and gold well enough and are lucky enough to find a money duplication skip tag in around ante 6 or later, you should be able to make enough money to reach $400. Cartomancer is an underrated joker that generates a random tarot at the beginning of every round. When acquired early, the economic and deck manipulation value this joker can provide is very strong. The unneeded tarots can be sold for $1, but most tarots are almost immediately useful and provide a range of powerful effects. Cartomancer can be unlocked by discovering every tarot card. In Balatro, there are 22 tarots in total, and there is likely no best strategy to unlock this joker, because most players will unlock this joker without trying simply by playing the game with enough time. None of these tarots are locked, and all are freely available in the game with equal drop rates. With enough playtime, you'll inevitably find and use all these tarots. Astronomer is a very strong economy joker, especially when acquired early. It makes all planet cards and the celestial packs they are found in free. Planet cards are essentially parallel to tarots, being found in the shop individually and in booster packs. There is a unique planet card for every poker hand, from high card to straight flush, and when used it increases its level, buffing its base chips and molt. To unlock Astronomer, you must discover every planet card. At first glance, this may seem like a relatively straightforward unlock condition. However, in addition to the traditional poker hands, Balatro has 3 additional secret hands for which there are planet cards: 5 of a kind, Flush 5, and Flush House. Most players will likely have no issue collecting the traditional poker hand planet cards with enough gameplay. Unlike the other traditional planet cards, the planet cards for these secret hands do not become available in the shop until the hand has been played at least once. A good deck to unlock this joker with is the checker deck because of its gimmick making it half hearts and half spades. 2 of the 3 secret hands, Flush 5 and Flush House, are significantly easier to make using this flush-friendly deck. And if you're making Flush 5s, then you're also technically making 5 of a kinds. One thing to consider is that you must actually purchase the planet card from the shop to discover it. It is not enough to just have it revealed to you. The last joker on this list is Bootstraps, and it's a great joker to go out on because it won't disappoint. It is a consistently strong, scaling, positive molt joker that gives +2 molt for every $5 you have.
Bull is the other half of this card, which is also an uncommon, but does not need to be unlocked, and Bull gives chips instead of molt. Bootstraps is unlocked by having at least 2 polychrome jokers in your lineup at the same time. Polychrome is one of the rarest additions that jokers and playing cards can randomly be found with. Cards with polychrome give 1.5x molt. The primary source of polychrome jokers is the polychrome skip tag, which guarantees the next base edition joker in the shop becomes polychrome and free. Jokers can extremely rarely appear with polychrome in the shop and in buffoon packs. This extremely low drop rate can be substantially raised in-game if the vouchers Hone and Glow Up are acquired. Polychrome can also randomly be generated off the Wheel of Fortune tarot. Although rare, most players will eventually unlock this joker with enough time and luck. Any deck can unlock this joker. Just play on white stake, keep your eyes out for shiny things, and the polychrome skip tag, Hone, and Glow vouchers, and you'll have this joker unlocked in no time. You can always consider the Zodiac deck because of the Overstock voucher, which gives an extra card slot in the shop. My recommended method to unlock Bootstraps is by using the Ghost deck because it starts the player immediately with the Hex Spectral card that gives a random joker in your lineup polychrome and then destroys the others. If you just give it to whatever the first joker you get, then there won't be any others to destroy. You can then simply re-roll the game until you get a polychrome skip tag and you will have 2 polychrome jokers with relative ease.
And well, that's the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something new, and go out and use it to unlock that last annoying joker in your collection. It was definitely quite the undertaking to narrate, animate, and edit this video all myself, so I would really appreciate that if you liked the content, leave a like and your thoughts in the comments, and if you didn't like the content, leave a dislike and tell me how to improve in the next one. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all my future uploads. Until the next one, cheers!